Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of CYC Guy Talk. I'm gathered with my awesome brothers here to discuss the issues that we are going through on a daily basis. Today's episode is something that touches all of us, something we've all gone through, and it's how to think before we act. And what better introduction than to talk briefly about the story of King David and how he was bored one day on the rooftops while his army was out killing other people. He wasn't with them. He was bored. He saw a beautiful woman, and he said, I wonder who she is. And he did a big action after that. And we don't need to get into that right now, but the whole concept is, if he had a little bit more time, the whole situation could have been different. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Have you been in a situation where you just didn't know how you got there? You know, and maybe not on a spiritual aspect yet, but just something in general. Like you found out you're in a place, but you didn't know how you ended up there.
Well, there was actually one time where I got into this fierce argument about some random thing I don't even know. But it was a really heated debate about something that's really not worth even talking about.
And you were like, whoa, I just insulted your whole family. How did we even end up in this discussion, right? I mean, I don't know if you did, but I'm just saying, that definitely happens, right? Beautiful. Oh yeah, go ahead.
On my couch, and I ended up on my bed the next day. I didn't know how that happened.
No, we have some doctors in the show. We'll figure that out as well. No, that's good. You know, sometimes we just we start right off somewhere and we end up somewhere else. Let me ask you something, because I know Mina, you have a lot of thoughts. You know, so I want to ask you one thing. How about with sinning? Let's say, have we ever committed a sin? Or maybe not you. If you want to be personal, this is Guy Talk, so you can be personal. But have you ever done something or know someone who has a sin, and they don't know how they ended up doing that? Like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, actually I can think of one. I once got addicted to cursing.
Oh.
Every 10 minutes, I tell you, every single word that came out of my mouth, there was either an F-bomb in front of it or who knows what else. This was after the football season started. I mean, you get a lot of tough coaching during the football season. A lot of bad words go through their mouths. So I think I didn't even realize what was going on. But right after the season ended, I was still using all this language. I didn't even realize I was doing it.
Wow. But so were you able to figure out after a while that you were actually, this is a problem and you need to fix it? Or are you still throwing out those bombs?
Yeah, they're still in my mouth. They're still in my times. I mean, it's a developing problem. It's getting better though.
Okay.
So I've been working on it. I mean, talking to Abu and talking to my parents. Even my little brother's been trying to help you.
Awesome.
Things at me every time I say something. So yeah, it's just you get into it. You don't even know where you are until you're into it, and then it's a long process to get yourself out of it. But once you got help and you're reading the Bible and everything, it helps a lot.
I really appreciate your honesty, Mina. I really do, man. You're my brother. And I can tell that this is a group here that we're sharing through a lot. So whether it's cursing or whether it's some other actions, I know you said you got into an argument with someone. I wanted to see if, in terms of our relationships with our parents, do you ever find yourself saying things to them that you regret later?
Well, I guess sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'm just bored, so I start picking a fight just for the heck of it. I'm not sure it's, I know it's not the best thing to do, but I don't know, yeah, I kind of regret it.
So you said bored. Now remember, it's very clear in the text, in 2 Samuel, that King David was bored, So do you think boredom is really a big accelerator when it comes to doing something without thinking it clearly? Does it something to do with boredom specifically, or that's just one of the different things that can cause that? Mina?
I think that's a huge thing. Boredom is probably the reason why I get into every single sin. I mean, for example, whenever I get bored, it's like a I don't know, like right after school, finished all my homework, got nothing to do. Pull out my phone, maybe I'll hit up a girl. And you know what? You never know where that goes. Like a lot of that talk just goes places it shouldn't.
Think before you act, and the girls. That's it. The fire's going. I don't know if it's the heat coming from the fire or the heat from this discussion right here. How can thinking before you act? What can we say to some of our members or watching this show, our fellow brothers and sisters who might be going through texting and sexting and just sending things out without really thinking it through? What advice might we have? I know you said you've had some experience with this in the past. You know, first, were you able to overcome this situation with the dangers of sexting?
I'm not going to call it an overcome situation. Still struggling with it.
But are you able to, like, really see ways to control it?
Like, I try and get involved in more things. Like, I go to the gym, I leave my phone in the locker room.
Oh.
I used to take it with me in my shorts, and I used to answer it between sets, but now I just leave it in my locker room. So that's like 2 or 3 hours where I don't have to answer my phone, and that takes out any risk of something happening while I'm there.
I like that.
And then during homework, I try not to answer my phone. Like, part of it's obviously to focus, but the other part is because I know once I get distracted, you don't know where that's going.
Go ahead.
My phone, so like it shuts off between things, so I never get any texts that people send me.
Oh, okay. Well, that might work out.
Then once I turn my phone back on, and then by then it's too late to answer, so I just leave them alone. Most of the time, I just don't like to answer my phone.
So your phone, maybe it's a blessing phone that you have, has safeguarded you so that you don't have to respond to some of these messages and get yourself maybe in more trouble. I think that's great. And one thing that my brother Mina Tawfiq had mentioned was to preoccupy your time. This is a beautiful thing because we're dealing with boredom as a major issue, as you had mentioned, as we see from King David himself. He caused the death of a man. He caused adultery for this woman. He caused years of agony for himself, all because of a brief moment, a moment thought. And I think what you're saying about preoccupying your time with the gym, but still though, like say like you really want to do something, right? Oh, excuse me. You really want to do something. Let's say you do the gym. If you really want to do it, are you still going to do it at the end of the day? Like say you have a desire to just text somebody, like in something inappropriate, a girl, a flirtatious message, right? So you go to the gym, you're like, oh, I'm not going to respond to her because I'm going to preoccupy my time with the gym. But then after the gym, what if the thought comes?
I mean, try to find something else to do. I mean, homework,
try something else.
Like homework takes a lot of time, for example.
Okay. But these are things that homework. That's an essential. Gym, sports, just playing, reading books, playing games. These are nice things to preoccupy our time. But in that time of preoccupation, something maybe we can consider filling that with is something of a spiritual edification. Because, you know, if we are preoccupying our time with idle things that are nice, but they're space fillers, those thoughts are still going to arise, right? Or no?
Using the context of David, I noticed that while his soldiers are fighting, he was at home. So he was at the wrong place.
What is that? What is that word? Starts with an L.
Laziness.
It ain't love. It's not Sunday school, all right? Love is not the answer for everything. Go ahead.
Laziness.
Laziness. Excellent. Excellent. So go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. Laziness. What do you mean? Develop that.
Well, since he wasn't fighting with his soldiers, he wasn't like doing what a king should do in a time of war. He got himself into trouble. So instead of like just hanging around being lazy, maybe you should do something productive, like maybe studying, or maybe try to like open up a random page in the Bible. I know that helps sometimes.
Oh, random page.
Yeah. See what God has in store.
These are great exercises for myself even. I love that idea. I never thought about even. Bam, take that message.
Distract himself.
What's that?
But what if he just wanted to distract himself? He went on the roof of his kingdom.
But but in the context.
He never said. It never said that he was looking for her. He just said.
No, but that's not the issue here. Go ahead. You figure it out. Come on. He's saying it's nothing to do with that. He's on the thing. He wasn't trying to find a distraction, but the distraction came to him. But what's the issue, though? He was lazy because of what?
He didn't go to war.
What? But is that a good thing? Why not? A king. You think of any of those movies, Braveheart, any of those movies like where there's a war going on. The king is right there, maybe not in the front lines because those are soldiers in the front lines, but he's there as a general, as a leader. Oh, platoon, over here. Boom, over here. He's got to be there to take charge of his men. He's over there on the rooftops, right? While his army is out there throwing the battlefield. So not only shows laziness, it shows a lack of work, a lack of, dedication to his responsibilities, right?
You could still go back to the battle if it's still going on, but right, you missed something just once doesn't mean you're a horrible person. It's not like.
But think about it. If you miss one day of school, you miss one day of work, you know what? You're gonna feel. You might feel like it's not a big deal, but at the end of the day, in that one day where you're missing, where you're supposed to be working, it could actually end up, like in the case of David, and end up in the death of somebody, the adulterous fornication of another man's wife, years of agony. But, keeping our mind and our focus dedicated on positive things, on edifying things, can really help us in our spiritual life, can really help us in our fellowship life within the church, and really help us be able to think before we act, so that when those distractions do come our way, we know how to positively respond to them, and we can make the appropriate decisions. We have so much more to discuss. I'm really excited about all this, and I'm really thankful for my brothers here. So, till the next episode, thank you, God bless, and please continue to give us your feedback at our email address below, and also soon be on the lookout for our new Facebook page. It's coming up. Thank you so much. God bless you. CYC Guy Talk.